We should be live on YouTube. I haven't posted the tweet. I'll do that right after we're live. I mean, like, yeah, like while you're doing your intro or something. Are you guys ready for the show of the evening for Weebs of the Ring, episode 40? Yes, we made it to episode 40 already. We have done so much in the past couple of months because you know what? We're not the only ones. Because like Solo Sikoa said, the bloodline, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, ain't coming back. Paul Heyman was hurt. He was shocked. And he was not the only one that was hurt. Drew McIntyre threw our boy, the Chicago man himself, off the gate. And not just once. It got 3 times to the head, knockout to the ambulance, and Nick Aldis got pushed himself. He's like, what's going on? CM Punk, gone for the night. Is he ready to fight one-on-one with Money in the Bank against Drew McIntyre? Because we might get a 3 versus 3 or 4 and 4 at Money in the Bank. And that's for Cody Rhodes with RKO. And then we have Jacob Fatu finally making his appearance. And he was doing some training. My man lost some weight. My man looking good out here. My man is prepared. But are you prepared for the show that we're about to have? Because we are not just only talking about the weekly stories. We're talking about what I just said, the PLE Money in the Bank qualifier matches. And we didn't have just 2 tonight. We have 3. Because that makes me question, why did the 2-hour show have 3, but then Raw, who's a 3-hour show, only had 2? That makes no freaking sense. But you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's get ready to start the show.
See, I'm trying to access my inner Jacob Fatu right now because I'm here. I'm an angry boy. That's right. We had Jacob Fatu premiering, debuting tonight, but hopefully everybody out there in the chat is doing quite well. That's right. We are here on a Friday night. It is after SmackDown, a bit later than usual, but hey, we had to get cleaned up because it's been a long day. Now, for those of you returning, welcome as always after our wrestling shows. But if you're new here, of course, welcome. But who are we exactly? Well, with anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a trio of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience like none other. Brought to you by Anime Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. And as always, people, there's 3 of us. I feel like it's been a while since there's been all 3 of us been here.
Yeah, and again, it's gonna be like that for next week because I'm not gonna be here Monday, so we're gonna all 3 of us gonna be here back Friday. So it's nice.
Yep.
Myself, the visionary, legendy Vash, and to tell you, you should watch the show because week to week we're telling things like it's facts. Because last week we say, yo, before Clash and everything, we said it that things have to change for the Bloodline story, and guess what? It did. It escalated. It changed. Raw, NXT, and SmackDown has been a banger after a banger and after a banger. 3 banger shows back to back. We're telling you, we're the visionaries. We see things happening way before we could tell it.
Yep, we're starting to see the vision of Triple H. But yes, as you guys heard up on my top right from what it looks like. Yeah, you guys see him on the top right. That's right, that was the legend D Vash. And of course, as always,
I got out of camera because I thought we were doing all of our names.
Oh,
because I looked what mine said.
no, you're good. You're good because entering from our top left, as always, is Drop This Box, dude. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing great, actually.
Good, good. I see you're wearing the good old Punk shirt. Oh, good,
The classic
good timing with wearing that one. The classic one, yes. But as always, people, I'm your world champion, Whawkins, and we're here to talk to you guys a little bit about SmackDown. A very, very stacked episode of SmackDown. One that had a good through line with a story, mainly with the Bloodline, kind of dealt with CM Punk a little bit, had some stuff with the U.S. title, and of course, finding out who's going into these Money in the Bank matches. But, man, how you guys doing in the chat? Let's see. I got Vash. Your fan is out there. You know they apparently can hear your fan, so that's good. That's awesome.
That's good to know.
And Jackie.
I was gonna say that's good to know that the fans are out there and seeing that you're doing the job. You're keeping me cool. You're keeping me warm. And like you said, SmackDown overall started off right. Like I was definitely impressed. I know by the end of the night, by the end of the show, guys, like, oh, we have our time codes, the chapters of our discussion, the segments will be down below in the description. Oh, as you see, after post-stream, you will see all the chapters if you jump in watching the VOD. Let me also give you the quick rundown that you got to do. Like the video, comment down below your thoughts if you're watching the post-VOD of the stream. And also subscribe, like we said it earlier, if you're new. If you like us, want to check us out, we appreciate it. We cover Raw and SmackDown week to week. And we did our most recent PLE. That was Clash of the Castle. Not at the castle. Once again, quick reminder. And also telling my brain that. Inside joke if anybody watches that quick show. And overall, Raw on SmackDown, it was a hitter. Because if you didn't watch Raw coverage of me and Walkers, we literally broke it down to you. The Wyatt Six literally did what they did. I'm upset that our boy Chad is alive to get ready to compete for this week coming Raw, but hopefully it has a little twist with it, like a Daniel Bryanson that happened a couple years ago with the Wyatt family. So hopefully it's something between those lines. And SmackDown overall was a great fucking show. Great story-based pacing, everyone having their TV time, everyone getting involved. Because even by the end of the night, I'm like, yo, Tiffany hasn't appeared. Boom, a second later, she appears and does her segment. Girl came out to look good and get a little slap and like, yo, toodles. So I love that. Overall, I'm excited to do our discussion about the show and, break it down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I apologize. Drop, if you were trying to do a Joe Hendry joke with your intro, because, I was about to say your name for you to appear, but... things, timings, and all that, right?
Chat, look, we haven't had the chance to do NXT coverage, but we do watch it, and we are up to date. We don't watch it fully because I do watch clips whenever I don't get the time. But Joe Hendry appeared on this Battle Royal, and I know a lot of people was upset about it because he got the first elimination by everyone. I think he was there like for 20 seconds or something.
I do know I don't know the name of the person that eliminated him, but I do know the person that did eliminate him. He's currently feuding with in TNA, but I kind of wish they waited a little bit longer to do that angle.
Yeah, it felt very
Frank
fast.
Kazarian.
I saw the clip,
the dude's name.
But it looked like everyone jumping and everything, and it showed the comedy. Either way, just to see TNA and with the WWE do this crossover, a lot of people are shocked about this in the current time and of date, but it's pretty weird when technically WWE used to do this with ECW and with WWF back in the day. It's just that it's been like 20 years later that they haven't done this in so long, so it's kind of like refreshing, kind of shocking from who was the old regime before. So like that's something that's like, whoa, hold up, pause for a second. This is shocking that we're doing this in 2024. But of course, because the old regime is not there no more, so it's like, wow, new eyes, new faces, crossovers.
Another thing I gotta say, his debut currently has 16.7 million views on.
That is true. We were talking about it off air. We said it that
Whawkins said I think like currently he's like
number 1 or 2 of the year.
He's surpassed stuff during the build to WrestleMania this year, which if you remember those numbers, like yeah, if you remember those numbers, like they were
Yeah.
touting those like almost every single week, and yeah,
Triple H needs, like, all I'm gonna say this is, like, Triple H, Nick Khan, whoever else is in charge of this, you gotta grab this guy once his contract goes out. I'm just saying,
yeah,
he's like big money.
sign him immediately.
It's
Like
very
as
curious
soon
to
as that
see-
contract is gone.
Like a lot of people will say what they say about AEW, but I'm really curious to say if Nick Khan from AEW and Triple H and Tony Khan, if they have actually had conversation behind the scenes that nobody knows about. So I'm curious to see if we actually will see something next year of a crossover or something like that. But at the end of the day, it will be
Maybe a
interesting
pay-per-view.
about the money and about the booking, because that's where it kind of matters. Like who gets pushed, who gets the run of mill. Because with TNA, they're having it very well balanced with NXT, and it's smart, like having their small division of NXT with TNA, and the main roster is they're doing their own thing. Like it's very fucking well balanced. So I'm loving that.
Yep.
And
So-
by the way, Joe Hendry's song, I just want to also quote that. Hold up. Joe Hendry's song has been addictive in like the best way possible. Literally since Tuesday, I literally been seeing it on my IG and Twitter. I'm gonna still call it Twitter, guys. For the past
I will
3 to
too.
4 days, that literally I hear the clap, I see the look, and I hear Tokyo, Paris, and like just the whole beat going on, and I'm like, something about his songs just gets addictive. Like just hearing it, I don't even want to swipe or scroll. I just want to be like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Nah, dude, it's a
I
bop.
was listening to that
There's
work
a
today.
yeah, there's a reason it was top of like the British charts and all that for a while. So yeah, there's a reason for all that, but there's also a reason and for the season always. But as it's getting warmer, as it's getting hotter, we're gonna talk about we'll mention Heat Wave here and there, but we're moving towards a certain other show. We're moving towards Money in the Bank, taking place in Canada, good old Bizarro land, as they used to call it. And we got some setups not only for Money in the Bank, but for SummerSlam going on. Like, again, we had this one main through line that kind of dealt with the bloodline, but it also kind of dealt with Punk, because, hey, guess what? We're in Chicago, and we can't go into Chicago with a wrestling company without CM Punk arriving. And he was here on SmackDown. His main mission here was just to kind of, like, give an update for his health, but he didn't really get to do that. He actually ended up running a promo towards Drew McIntyre, being like the main portion, like the main theme of his promo towards Drew McIntyre was all about like the pressures and like making promises in your hometown and all that. And what a perfect person to kind of talk about that than CM Punk, who made a lot of history in Chicago for the WWE and even AEW too.
It was interesting to see CM Punk like chat. Full disclosure, I'm not gonna be able to give too much comment about the CM Punk appearance in the first 20 minutes of the show or less, because I was not able to see it. I got home late and I didn't catch it, so I'm gonna give what I could give about with context. The only thing I saw and I appear is when Paul Heyman was talking about the bloodline and with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk with a bat ready in hands, and Cody telling CM Punk, telling Solo, you and me 1-on-1 tonight as main event, etc. So I didn't get to see much, but just knowing from what is in the document and what Whawkins said, I was not shocked that Drew came up tonight. I know we're gonna cover that in a bit, very shortly, but with CM Punk not able to tell the audience if he's medically clear was a very smart decision, because now with this injury that happened later that night, it kind of makes it more vague that would this match happen still at Money in the Bank now, or would it be pushed for like a SummerSlam? So that's very curious to see. And I love what you said, Whawkins, because you cannot have a Chicago show without CM Punk. Like now it feels like whenever Raw or SmackDown is at Chicago, it's like he has to be there. Like he's like the representation of Chicago in the best way possible. So I agree 100%.
So with this whole promo part, so again, Punk is talking down, mainly just talking down Drew McIntyre and kind of justifying his actions. Paul Heyman coming out, and again, like we've been seeing Paul Heyman throughout these whole like ever since WrestleMania season ended, like him just being so sad that Roman's not there and being bullied by Solo and all that. But like he wants Punk to leave. Now, why does he want Punk to leave? Well, bitch ass Solo is pissed off that, oh, Chicago's Punk City, it should be my city. And like when Paul Heyman said that, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, RLS Solo Sikoa thinks Chicago should be his city.
What, he said that?
Sit your butt down. Sit your butt. Yeah. So like, yeah, he told like, apparently the story was that like Solo and the Tongas were so pissed off on the way into the arena because, oh, CM Punk, this is CM Punk City. Oh, blah, 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 which one thing I found really cool, we find this out later on in the episode, is that apparently like Roman had this deal with Paul Heyman, where it's like they won't touch CM Punk because of how close and dear to Paul Heyman he is. So like that just adds a layer to Roman Reigns, because it's like, okay, we saw him this whole time as the tribal chief, as like this almost like a dictator kind of thing, and like how he evolved into like that ruthless, like, if you don't follow me, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm gonna beat you up. But we're starting to see that there was a lot of respect that he had. Like, yeah, he demanded it, but he did respect you enough to be like, okay, I'll do this for you, but that's because I, respect you and hold you to a high standard. And I think that just means levels when it comes to Paul Heyman, because again, him being the wise man, like, Paul doesn't really I feel like he's the type of character that doesn't ask for too much, especially in a situation like with Roman Reigns and all that, because Paul Heyman's gonna be making money regardless. But there's just that added layer, that like little sprinkle of seasoning onto this main course meal. But Drop, how do you feel about this just this part with like Paul and CM Punk? Is like there was a part where they hugged it out, and I got a lot of emotions from that, because like I feel like Paul Heyman has just needed somebody to give him a nice warm hug. But how do you feel about like this part with Paul Heyman and CM Punk?
Well, I thought it was very wholesome, because you can't have Paul Heyman and CM Punk in the same ring without acknowledging the past relationship that they had with one another. Because it'd be kind of weird if you just like skip over that and then you just go to the usual things that Paul Heyman says when he comes out. So it's nice that they actually acknowledge that, because people that grew up in that era, which I definitely remember that era when Punk and Heyman were around with one another, and Punk and Heyman was in that position like how he was at Roman. It's nice to really look back at that, because that really hit me, because when I saw both of them hug, in a way, it just gave me a little flashback in my head where I was just reimagining all the good moments that they had with one another. But like you said, definitely with all of the different shenanigans that's currently going on in the bloodline right now, it's definitely needed for Paul Heyman. And I like how he was open with like how he was feeling, where he was telling Punk, like, if you leave, take me with you. Because I was originally thinking he was going to keep that to himself, because he was afraid to hear what like Solo and everybody else would do to him if he said that. But at the same time, it's like I'm glad that he was like open with how he felt, because in the position that he's in right now, it's clear as day that he wants to escape and get the hell out of here.
I agree with that 100%. Like, just knowing that Paul said that to CM Punk, I can't wait to watch the 20 minutes I missed tomorrow to see the full context narrative. But just hearing that with Paul saying that to CM Punk, it adds more value to the story. Like I was telling my girl about it. I remember when we first were starting Weebs of the Ring, or even last year, the continuity of Raw and Smackdown, or even what the commentator said, wasn't always important. Now, I feel like when we're watching Raw and Smackdown and doing the coverage and doing the coverage after show, it reminds me that I have to pay attention now from 8 to 11 p.m. nonstop, because anything the commentators say or anything the wrestlers say could come back 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, or even months from now, for a story, for a reasoning that, with Tiffany and Nia Jax, and there's more interaction from small interaction starting a month ago is now starting to mean something. So I love how with CM Punk and Paul, like you said, Drop, it adds the extra layer to what's happening with the bloodline, and with the bloodline trying to attack CM Punk. It adds that extra layer that there was history, and they're acknowledging it. They're knowing that this is my favorite guy. This is the guy that I cry and told the Hall of Fame speech that he is the guy that will, sit down right next to my kids, take care of them, have the best version of CM Punk because of Paul and the type of history that I've had all these years. So just to see that and hear that, I really love that. And lastly, just to know that there was a proclamation, like a deed, between Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, with Paul Heyman, about like, these are the things I ask. These are things I will not let it slide. We cannot mess with CM Punk. We cannot do this, this, and this. Just to know that CM Punk was one of them, that's like beautiful to hear from Paul as a person. Like, he has a soft spot, or he has a limit. Like, he has his morality. He has where things should not be crossed the line, and I love that.
It's just the respect thing that I was talking about with Roman's. Like, Paul did so much to help Roman when he came back and won the Universal title. Like, Paul did so much for Roman in these past few years to help him hold that title for 1,300 plus days. And so, yeah, there's a level of respect that Roman's just like, all right, you know what, Heyman? I could see it happening. Like, maybe it was like a year down the line with his Universal title reign. He's like, all right, you know what, Heyman? You did a lot for me. What? Is there anything that I can do for you? Like, I could see him maybe having a private chat with Heyman about that, and just him being like, okay, you scratched my back. Let me return the favor. What is something that you wish for? And the fact that out of everything, because you think about Paul Heyman just throughout the years, and just kind of the kind of scumbag character he is, you think, okay, what he would want would be very selfish, and in a way it kind of is, but in the other way it's not. It's just him trying to protect a dear friend of his, just like what he was doing tonight.
Agreed. It just adds the extra layer of
realism.
Yeah,
exactly.
Realism.
Yep.
Like, knowing that.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation with my coworker this morning while we're doing our job. I love it when people say that WWE is fake or scripted, but it's because I'm like, television, our comics, our storytelling is all fake, because it's all fantasy. It's all what we expect it to be. But the beautiful art form of wrestling is live theater, telling a story through wrestling, and that's the best way. And seeing that Paul Heyman is making myself, Whawkins, or Drop, or even audience, or even fans, or even Vash fan, saying that's the fun of it. Like, we're even telling ourselves in the group chat that, Paul Heyman deserves an Oscar. Like, he deserves an award. Like, yeah. I would love to see the Hall of Fame awards, or I forgot what's the new thing they're calling for the awards, or the fan awards that they have on Sundays in the morning, where they give the best acting, or the best debut of the year, or the best moment of the year in the company. Slammies? Yeah, the Sammys. The Slammies. Oh,
you're talking about the WWE one. Okay.
Yeah. I think they should have the best acting, because Paul Heyman should win it for next year. 100% on $1,000. Paul is selling this version 2.0, and he's pushing the story. And even us from last week, we even agreed to it. We said that there's something that has to be changed, and we even brought up either Jacob Fatu or somebody else has to debut. And look what happened next week. This is a 2-hour show that felt so fucking perfect, and with CM Punk starting the show, and literally went from a domino effect to everyone's storyline for the rest of the show.
Yeah. And so I do want to backtrack really quick, mainly with like this promo part with him and Drew McIntyre. So again, the whole theme of his talk about Drew was just like the pressures and the promises that you make when going to your hometown or your home city or home country for Drew's sake, and how it can like eat at you. It can like really like again just add pressure to you. You know, it can make you screw up. It can make you make mistakes and can make you not achieve dreams and like drop like failure promises like Drew McIntyre did. And so he keeps like adding into that, and it adds so much to what happens later on with Punk. You know, when Drew does arrive. But yeah, all of this talk about pressure and promises and all that, this does end up summoning Solo Sikoa and the Tongas. And again, Solo's getting like Dom levels of boos too. Like, I don't know if you guys are like realizing that too.
Oh, not rightfully deserved too.
Exactly. He's R-less self. But yeah, he's basically saying, "Hey, we're gonna make sure you can't wrestle again." And just out of nowhere, Cody Rhodes shows up with two bats. It's like, okay, you do have help, and this kind of sets up a match for Cody and Solo later in the night.
I just want to say,
how did we feel about Cody just coming out of out of the blue?
I did not see the full context, but what I do want to say, what I did see the ending of that promo, he said, and thank you for Whawkins for writing it down for me. You fancy yourself head of the table. Well, I have already beaten one. Leave your balls, and I'll leave my balls in the back. I want you tonight. Two things about this promo. The way he delivered that was beautiful. The way he attacked Solo straight to it, like, hey, I already beaten one head of the table. I could beat another. Beautiful landing. But then when he said, I want you tonight, I don't know why, but it reminded me about the promo with John Cena, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H back in the day. And when they said, I want all of you tonight, and the Bella twins were right there, so it had the little awkward moment on TV. That's what it reminded me of, like, I want you tonight. And the way he pointed and everything, it just, like, that line, the promo and everything, just worked for me very well.
I think my line for the whole night is...
Oh, for the whole
Punk,
night?
Yeah, this is my line for the whole night. Punk towards the bloodline, he's just like, no. Like, he was like, all right, I'll acknowledge that you are not the bloodline. You're just a bunch of fake-ass Usos and a phony cosplay tribal chief. And I'm like, yes, Punk, shit. I feel heard. I feel heard because, like, that's, in a way, that's kind of what I've been trying to, like, get across with, like, this whole, like, create a character from Grand Theft Auto 5 that Solo Sikoa is trying to act like it's true. He's cosplay tribal chief. Vash, don't die on Kramer. Don't pull a CM Punk. Don't pull a almost Chad Gable. Live,
man.
You have to live.
I could be like Chad Gable, come back 3 days later, or take next week Friday. Like, hey guys, let's start the show. I'm like,
wait,
But didn't Vash die on last week's episode 40? What? Nah, but it was like that promo. I did not hear CM Punk. Like, I can't not wait to hear that one with context, just to know, like. But it makes sense. I'm glad that he speaks for the audience. He knows he's probably on the timeline. He reads the Twitter. He reads what the community is saying. He's reading what probably Reddit is saying, or things just to keep his jokes, his laugh, the way his mind works, and it helps him out to say what he said, because it's true. Walker's related to it. Me hearing it, I relate to it. We all understand, like, hey, who the fuck is this type of fake ass, this type of Usos?
And yeah, Solo is in for a beating. Also, Vash's fan sees your puppy.
No, I think it's his drop, because my puppy is sleeping all the way.
That's who I meant.
He's right here on the ground.
No. Yeah, Sydney's laying over on the couch. Aren't you, girl? You're being a good girl. Yes, you are. Oh boy. But Drop, I'm glad I mentioned you. I'm glad, I said your name and you appeared yet again. Because this was not all that Punk had in store for tonight, was it?
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh no! Like I thought. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When I heard these first couple bangs on the door,
I just cringed for a moment because I just saw something on Twitter of like Chris Jericho with like pizza cutter and stuff from AEW.
Oh, wait! I think wait. Is that happening now? Is he having some like hardcore death match
so.
right now?
I don't think so. It was on like some episode of Dynamite, but it does relate to this though, because things got pretty grim.
Oh yeah, things got like, you want to talk about a Chicago deep dish? Somebody got very deep onto
What's funny?
Phil Brooks's Chicago head.
I still haven't tried a deep dish, but yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, you got to try deep dish pizza. Oh, it's good.
I'm sorry. I'm old school. I grew up with the New York City best pizza. We have the best pizza.
Oh yeah. Well,
when I go to Chicago, I'm gonna be biased because I grew up with the New York City best pizza. We have all the different.
No. That makes sense. It's like going to Philly and getting a cheesecake.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get like a Philly cheesesteak, yeah, 100%.
Oh, I love that.
But our boy was getting banged 3 times, and I love how Tommaso Ciampa had to stay in character. Like, he had to finish his lines so the camera could slowly go in, and the security guard had like slowly go to the gate to open it. Like, my dude, run faster. Like, nah, get there, open the gate, and we just see a fallen CM Punk. And yo, I just want to give this highlight. Fucking Drew, I fucking love you, my McIntyre, because this acting that you're doing for the past 3 months. 5 months, you've been doing promo after promo. You've been giving the emotion. You've been giving your expression to the audience, telling them why you're right, why you're the good guy, why this gotta be it. But then somehow you just went from not talking, because all you did fucking talk. Even Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, and a few others have said it. But now you're not talking and you just speak on action. My dude, you just pick up CM Punk in the back. I told my girl, like, babe, he's walking with a 200+ pound man on his back for more than like 100 feet. Literally just going to the arena, literally carrying him and just threw him in the back to the fucking ground. He literally just drops him, like, boom. Probably in his head, like, yeah, I felt good real quick. He probably looked down like, he good though. And still be ready, be like, he did the CM Punk move, and then he grabs CM Punk's bracelet. I don't know what that was. He grabs, like, the CM Punk was wearing like a bracelet or something. So I'm a bit confused about that. Did anybody catch that?
Yeah. Shoot. Was it? I want to say it was something his wife gave him. Because I've seen him wear that bracelet before.
Me too. I just couldn't tell.
I don't know what's written on it. I forgot what it was.
So what it is? Yeah, it's a bracelet for like his wife and his dog. That's what he took away from him.
Okay. So he a bitch. Drew got that, and then the thing that shocked me at the end of this whole segment is that he deadass just pushed Nick Aldis. They got like, get out of here, go.
Oh, I love that shit.
And Drew said,
I love that.
What? I was like, no, I don't even care about the rest of the part. Just knowing that we're just seeing the aspect of Drew pushing a general manager. We haven't gotten that in so long, so it feels serious, and I love that. It's just seeing that, we push it like a general manager, like, we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen like physical contact.
That's what I'm saying.
Than that, it's just Braun Breaker getting in people's faces.
Yeah, like exactly, getting into people's faces or screaming at them or telling like, I want this now. But to actually push them, like, we haven't seen Adam Pearce get pushed for the past 4 years since it's been doing his thing, and now having Nick Aldis be the first one to get pushed, and him also dealing with the bloodline stuff. And this falling into Raw stuff, I'm telling you, we're gonna get like a Raw versus SmackDown for Survivor Series. That's my guess. Because Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis are gonna have issues.
Maybe, unless they just stick with the typical War Games, which I think they're doing. That makes. I mean, that makes more sense because if you look at how everything's being set up right now, you're more than likely gonna get a Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0 War Games match.
Yep. Bloodline Prime versus Bloodline Medium.
So, and the people that are probably going to be involved in that is like Roman, Jimmy, Jay. Honestly, I have no clue who the fourth one's going to be. But then you have like
Sammy.
Could. But then you have like Solo, you got Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and then you got Jacob Fatu. So I think what was it? Tala Tonga is supposed to be coming soon.
Oh yeah, also known as Hikuleo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do want to add.
Now,
what
I do want to.
fan,
yeah,
well,
that's exactly what I was gonna do.
Oh, perfect. We're in sync. We're in sync.
I do want to get my thoughts on the segment after that too.
Yeah, but
oh yeah, of course.
There's a perfect transition to our thought. Like, how did you feel about blood being shown? Like, since we have seen it with The Rock, pushing it forward, blood was involved. Of what you said, happening with, back to where you started with the conversation with Chris Jericho doing the thing, and I was CM Punk also looking like that and not able to move. How did you feel about that? Like being blood now being on screen when it's important and needed for the story, not just to have it on screen like like AEW does every week. So yeah.
Well, before I give my thoughts on that, I do want to give my thoughts on the overall segment.
Yeah.
And then I'll segue into that. One of the things I really like the most about this McIntyre and Punk segment is I like how there's a connection here. And what I mean by that is if you look back at what happened at Clash of the Castle, Punk was in Drew's homeland. And now you have on SmackDown that Drew is in Punk's homeland. So I like how there's a connection there where it's like, okay, you fucked me over in my home, I'm going to fuck you over in your home. And I like how he pretty much took him out there like a dead body and just dropped him and
I
dropped him in
love
front of everybody.
that, dude.
Like that's honestly the perfect way to do it. It's like you beat the shit out of him and then you just bring him out and just have the wolves go after it. And you just saw like Drew McIntyre just beat up like their town hero and he just left them out there like nothing. And it's perfect and it makes sense because Drew obviously wants that revenge on Punk. And going back to what Vash said, I like how there's blood involved because I'm not afraid to say it. When it comes to AEW, they tend to use blood a little bit too much, and maybe that's just how they want to orchestrate things in their company, which is perfectly fine. But from my perspective, I like seeing blood when it makes sense. Like when you have blood feuds like this, for example, you saw the stuff that was going on with The Rock and Cody, or what you saw earlier on when Tama Tonga first debuted to show how crazy this guy is when he came out of KO after he crashed his car and KO's face is all bloody, and then you see the same thing with Punk tonight where his face is all bloody. I like how that's being shown off because it at least shows like, okay, we're at a serious tone right now, and it makes a lot of sense for this to happen. Because look at Punk and Drew's like feud so far. This has been going on ever since January. So that's like around it's around 5 months. It's going to be next, and then it's going to be like 6 to 7 months once we hit August. Is more than likely that's where they're going to have their match.
Yep.
Because there's no way in hell they're going to do it Money in the Bank, especially with this angle that they did tonight. Doesn't really make any sense. And honestly,
plus, I think there were some reports.
Match.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I think there were some reports this week saying that Punk wasn't going to be ready until SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect way to just kind of like write him off for a bit.
And plus,
until
like
SummerSlam.
That.
And plus,
I
know with WWE, Triple H, also CM Punk, the smart people in the business and the content creators would know you cannot rush with CM Punk return. Meaning that he did his return at Royal Rumble, he did his return at last year's Survivor Series, and he did the house events during the holidays. A lot of people were saying that he looked a bit sluggish, a bit slow. Him having this type of surgery for his triceps, I think was the best case scenario to get him back in shape and ready to pull off an actual good main event or PLE for the audience, where if it's going to go for a one-on-one match, he could actually go toe to toe with any type of superstar or with Drew or Seth, anything like that when the time comes. So I feel like them holding off when the story and when his health and when he's ready to do a 20-minute match like SummerSlam, or if he has to push it for another month or two. I'm glad the best way they're doing it, where the audience don't be asking where's CM Punk. They're involving him in story purposes, and where he doesn't have to be too involved in an athletic purpose. Like, all right, cool, you're involved right now. You took him to cost a match at Clash at the Castle. You took him an opportunity to beat him up here at the hometown. He didn't have to do much. He just got thrown off, banged to the gate, not really. So all these things was perfectly well done, and I love that, because it shows that CM Punk, he's not fighting, he's not main eventing, but he's still at PLEs, he's still doing coverages, he's still doing pre-shows, so he's front and center in camera. So I love that. And Drew still get to be busy, but having no title on the line, but still having a as equal importance on the main roster, even with no main title on the line. And I love that, because that's when even us talking about it, that we need a mid-card title for the woman, but not because there is no story for them. It's just to add an extra story for these ladies. But for the men's, we have already 2 titles, but these main superstars could cross over and still tell the story even without title on the line. That feels as important if there was.
Oh yeah.
I
just want to say in general, if it's still okay to say a little something on Jacob Fatu.
No, but yeah,
well,
go ahead.
Yeah, because we could still save it for Cody Rhodes.
You're good.
Because about to say,
okay,
we still have the segment of Cody Rhodes.
I'll just save it for that. But it's like I just like how this feud is like being set up for Punk and Drew. And it's like a lot of people say this feud doesn't need the title.
Yep.
Because there's some feuds out there that actually can work very well on their own without a title. Like the only way you would have to include a title is if it makes sense to have a title involved. Like you look at Cody and Roman's match, it makes sense for a title like that to be involved because that was a part of Cody's story. So it made sense to have the title on the line when he went up against Roman at WrestleMania. But when it comes to a feud,
the same with Gunther too.
Yeah. That was another thing. Like I do want to give like some thoughts on. I do realize like some people were a little upset that Drew lost his match at Clash. I wasn't able to give my thoughts because I wasn't available at that time. But the one thing I am gonna say,
go ahead,
is if you look at what's going on right now, do you really think Drew needs a title around his waist? Because him and Punk were doing perfectly fine in this feud. They don't need to have a title on the line to make it any better. I mean, look at what's currently going on right now. Everybody's eating it up. Everybody loves it. You don't need it. Because when I saw the pay-per-view, I was like, Drew's not winning this match because it doesn't make sense. Because where has Punk been these past couple weeks? He's been absent. So obviously Punk is going to show up and he's going to cause a lot of mayhem like he always does. And then like we saw tonight, Drew was going to get his revenge and beat the absolute shit out of him. So I like how they're actually structuring things properly, because I prefer things in the long run rather than just throwing a title out there just for the sake of having a title. You don't always need to have a title on the line for everything. And if he did win and then he had to drop it, months later, you guys will complain. I'm just going to say it. So.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't blame you. And it's like, the thing is, it would have been cool to have the title, but that's the thing. It would have been cool. You don't necessarily need it for this feud, because like the feud doesn't need the title. It's a blood feud. It's between 2 guys who just hate the ever-loving crap out of each other, and we see that tonight. We saw it in Scotland. I hope all those Scots over there in Scotland with their
are happy with Drew right now.
I hope they're happier now, because like I understand you guys were mad, last Saturday. Apparently a couple fights broke out too. Yeah, like I get it, and like again, it would have been cool if you won. Yeah, but like the story was kind of pushing a certain way. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, last week I was torn a little bit, but that's because like I'm always torn between my head and my heart when it comes to these things. I'm like, okay, my head sees a vision, it sees the bigger picture, but damn, my heart wants something. My heart is fond with things, but Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this didn't need a title, and it's fine without a title. And this was an awesome way to continue this feud going forward, to make sure, like, you know, Punk, because that's the thing with Punk. He wants to take his time to make sure he's fully ready to go. So this is a great way to kind of prolong this feud until SummerSlam, and whether it's just a normal match or we add a stipulation, hey, we'll have to wait and see with that. I see, for me personally, I see the first match being just a normal match. And if they keep going with a series, then maybe, you know, add a stipulation here or there.
You got that.
I know.
We got that pay-per-view potentially coming back.
We definitely know.
Bad Blood.
We definitely know
Hell in a Cell.
No,
Hell
we're
in a
not,
Cell.
we're not getting Hell in a Cell. I was about to say that.
We're not getting that.
Because if you did not see the press conference, our boy CM Punk made a surprise appearance, and he said a booker, not booker, a media outlet.
He was talking about their first match.
No, he said because he said that he in general he would never be in a Hell in a Cell.
Oh, okay. I took it as, because the way that the person asked, he says, "Oh, when you have your first match back, is it going to be a Hell in a Cell?" That's what the guy asked him, and he says, "Why would my first match be at Hell in a Cell?" That's what I remember him saying.
That's just silly.
Yeah. From what I remember hearing that he said, like, in general, that he would never do a Hell in a Cell like match or a match like that again. So I think he just wants to have a regular match, or like probably get a like last man standing, like a regular match that probably doesn't involve any crazy stunts or, you know, jumping off 25, 35 feet in the air.
You know, I don't know if they would do this, especially if they're bringing back,
you would
like,
have
the
Drew
Bad
doing
Blood
stunts
pay-per-view.
like that. That's the thing.
Yeah. Like, well, especially with the Bad Blood pay-per-view potentially coming back in October, which, you know, reports and all that stuff. I don't know if they could do this or get away with this. They could do a First Blood match.
I mean, they could easily do that. I mean, I don't see why not.
Like, yeah, like that.
There's no harm in that.
Wouldn't be a bad shout. Yeah,
there's no harm in
like,
that.
Yeah, and like, because I think Hell in a Cell match might be a different option that we get then, but
that might be with somebody else. I don't really know.
Yo, I just noticed. Drew posted a new profile picture with
Homelander.
No, with CM Punk blood face.
Oh.
Yo, by the way, talking about his social media, I love how this past Monday, if people didn't know, after the show,
he went dark.
Monday Night Raw, he deactivated his whole social media.
Yeah. And now
but
it's
I
back.
thought
and
he
now
quit
it's
the
back.
company.
Yeah.
I thought he quit. See that? Oh my gosh! I'm like, not to go on that tangent again, but it's just like, why would you do that angle when we know he re-signed? Timing, all that bull honky.
The only reason why I think he did it is because at least this gives him an excuse to pop
go
up
to the
wherever he
SmackDown.
wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with him quitting WWE and now he's, I guess, technically a free agent.
Yeah,
now.
like a free agent. Like he could go to
He
NXT.
can go wherever he wants.
Yeah. So
wherever Punk goes, he can go now.
I agree with that, drop.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more that he quit Raw, not really quit the company WWE, because remember, somebody else did the same thing. Our boy, main event Jey Uso, he quit SmackDown when it was a Bloodline story last year. He said, "You know what? I'm done with this. I quit." And then like 3 weeks later, he appears on Raw. So he and they never showed that he got a new contract. He just quit the roster of SmackDown to come to Raw because he got told by Cody, Rhodes, and everything. So with the TV eyes or was being shown on screen, we never saw a new contract made for Jey Uso for Raw, but he just got transferred. So I feel like the same thing with Drew. He quit the main roster of Raw, so that's why he just said, like, all right, cool, I'm gonna pop up in your city unannounced, knock you on the gate, 1, 2, 3, you knock down.
Oh man, it's just this whole segment was just really good. This whole segment was just really, really well done. From like the camera shot of like Drew carrying Punk's dead body to the arena, to like the chorus of boos, and like, because literally I thought of this as like, okay, imagine like in Naruto, if when Pain, okay, first of all, spoilers for Naruto real quick. All right, you guys have 5 seconds before I spoil you. Ready? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, you had your chance. All right, so it's like when Pain killed Jiraiya, and he just immediately went to the Leaf Village and dropped Jiraiya's body off, like all dead and all that. It's just like if Pain had done that, it's just like, hey, Tsunade, look what I did.
Oh shit!
Like I just did like a middle finger to her. Like that's what this was. Like it was kind of the equivalent of that. At least how I saw it in my head. So I'm looking forward to how Punk retaliates and how we're going to be setting up the match for SummerSlam going forward. But I don't know. I think that's all I have to say about it. Again, really great work from all people going around.
I think,
but
shit, that has me just thrown off. That actually happened in Naruto. That just got me mind fucking my head. But
yeah, I'm thinking we'll get that confirmation of the match like once, probably like middle of July. Punk will probably come back, and then we'll probably get that match all set up there, and I'll announce he's cleared.
Yeah, it's just
It'll
smart
be
how
like,
they're doing it.
hey, guess what, bitch? I'm cleared. That means I can fight you.
But
man.
you know what is clear? Since we're done with this conversation, I think we gotta get into the Money in the Bank, because they're about to cash that in.
Yeah, so like we had 2 of the men's qualifying matches, both involving people that were involved with the bloodline stuff. So our first triple threat Money in the Bank men's qualifying match, we had Randy Orton, we had Tonga, we had Carmelo Hayes. This was a really good match. Tonga and Carmelo Hayes have really great chemistry together, and I love the spot here where, like, that table spot that Randy just loves to do, especially to like smaller people.
Yeah,
I love how both like Carmelo Hayes and Tonga were like trying to stop him from doing that, and then it's just like, okay, he's gonna do it, guys. Just get away from the table, move away from the table before he does it. And then of course he does it. It's just like, all right, there we go.
And I just love how the start of the match, it was the pure best 20 seconds from these 3. We had Tonga and Carmelo just stare at each other. But before they stared at each other, it was Carmelo and Tonga just staring at Randy. Randy did not give a flying rat ass from Carmelo. He was just staring at Tonga like, yo, I'm ready for you. Let's go. Make your move. And then right after, that's where Carmelo and Tonga just stared at each other like, yo, want to join forces for a couple of minutes? Let's go jump Randy. And just jump Randy. Pa, 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 pa. I was like, I didn't expect to see 2 of these people actually join force for a couple minutes and just start their own shit. I didn't expect that. And I love that. Like, it was a cool chemistry of 2 wrestlers I didn't expect that I wanted to see. So now I'm curious to see how these 2 wrestlers will go one-on-one in the future when the time comes. Because it was very interesting to see how they work very well. And Whawkins, I go back to what you just said. Just seeing Randy just go, ha, pa, on the table. One, the second one, pa.
Oh, yeah.
And just seeing fucking Corey Graves just like, I gotta grab my shit, go man, just throw them on the table, like just see his body like, yeah, just throw them, go ahead, fuck it.
Hey Vash, Vivian sees some stuff on your beard. Apparently you got some like a hot dog up there or something. You got a hot dog in your beard. Have you been eating hot dogs this week?
No.
Yeah, alright.
Just
making sure.
Nah, but
Hot dog.
But Drop, what did you think of this men's qualifying match of Randy, Tama, and Carmelo Hayes?
Honestly, like, I already knew the result of this because I was talking a lot about these matches at work. And if you look at how this match was structured, you already have 2 people in ongoing feud, which is Randy and Tonga. So just looking off of that and just looking at the match that they're currently building up, because it's clear as day, especially what we saw at Clash of the Castle, that we're getting Randy, KO, and Cody versus the Bloodline at Money in the Bank. So Cody can get like a little breather there not having to defend his title until SummerSlam. But it's clear as day we're getting that match. So to me, it didn't really make sense for Randy or Tama Tonga to go over in this match. When I originally looked at it, I will say this. I thought in my head that Tama Tonga would have gone over in this match only because I was trying to figure out a way to get Jay involved in this bloodline story. Yeah. Because I originally thought in my head, like, okay, you got to think of something to get Jay involved here. Because now it's not even fair. Especially what we saw, like, towards the end of the night with how the show closed. I mean, you have nobody on your team to, like, fight these guys. So I thought Tama Tonga gets involved in Money in the Bank, screws over Jay in a way, gets Jay pissed, and then that's how Jay gets involved in the story. But just looking at what's currently going on at Randy and Tama Tonga, it makes sense for Carmelo to go over because he's a young talent. Give him some time to shine. And that's one of the things I like about these Money in the Bank matches is that this actually allows people like Carmelo Hayes, for example, which is a rising star, going to be the future of the company. It allows people to actually see what he's capable of. Like, can you imagine Carmelo Hayes hitting his finisher off of like the top ladder if he's like trying to take down like a whole group of people? Like, he's very athletic, so he was the one that I was rooting for to win this whole entire thing. And I also mentioned when we were discussing the show that with Carmelo Hayes pinning Randy, that's a huge win under his belt. And I think like in his like hitting his whole career overall so far, that's a huge win under his belt. That's like a Hall of Famer right there. That's a guy that's won 14 world championships. That's a guy that's like a legend in this business. He's been there. God, he's been in there so long. That's like pinning John Cena or pinning Undertaker, or if Triple H was still active, that's like pinning Triple H or Shawn Michaels. Like, knowing how you pin somebody like Randy Orton, that's a big win under your belt. Like, he was even able to do something like that before Braun Breaker has. So that's actually pretty crazy to think about, and I like that because that gives Melo some momentum heading into Money in the Bank. Do I feel like he might win? Maybe there's like a slight chance he might. I wouldn't mind it personally because
it's hard to tell for Carmelo because there's only 2 out of 6 right now so far, so it's hard to tell without knowing the other 4 or like at least 2 more.
Oh no, I get that, but it's like looking at somebody like Melo as a character. Is he believable? Yes.
Oh,
but
yes.
It's also hard to tell with what's going on. I mean, let's put it like this: Gunther's more than likely going to walk out of SummerSlam with that title. Do we realistically see Carmelo cashing in on Gunther being successful? No. Do we see him being successful with Cody? No. So that's why it's like all up in the air.
It would be nice to have a Money in the Bank winner this year
to lose,
not able to cash in.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
it's been a while. Yeah,
actually, no.
The last one, the last one was Otis, right?
Last year.
No, it was actually
actually
Austin Theory. He was the most recent one that failed, and then after that, it was Damian Priest.
Yeah, because Austin Theory had it. He tried to cash in on Seth Rollins' U.S. title.
Yeah,
and he actually lost that match, and then he got a rematch somehow,
and then
he won it. Yeah.
Why would they do that? It's just so weird. That's a weird booking.
Vince booking.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
so technically, he would have won it if Vince didn't change his mind on Sunday night. Who knows?
Like, the whole purpose behind having a Money in the Bank contract, it's meant for world titles. That's why when people were bringing up the whole thing of going after mid-card titles, why would you waste your opportunities going after a mid-card title?
Yeah.
That's like supposed to get to a certain LA Night conversation because
I know.
That's a topic I want you guys to talk about as well.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, so there was one thing that I did want to question about this match, and because I think I know the answer to it, at least part of it, but like it's just a logic question here, because like, okay. Earlier in the night, we had Solo Sikoa telling Paul Heyman, hey, go tell the Tongas what they need to do. And apparently their whole mission tonight was to make sure that Randy or Kevin Owens didn't get into the Money in the Bank match. And it's like, okay, I could see it with Tama Tonga because like he's in the match, so like he could win it, or he could just have Carmelo Hayes win it and then just destroy Randy Orton after the match. And it's like, okay, if that's the case, Tama Tonga, why are you breaking up some of these pinfalls? Like, why are you, yeah, the answer could be, oh, well, he wants to make sure that he destroys Randy Orton. Like, there's that part too, but it's like, okay, if you just look at if you just look at the mission on paper, the mission is make sure Randy doesn't make it into the Money in the Bank match.
The way I look at it personally, to answer that question, is I actually brought this up to Billy at work when we were talking about this, and we both agreed to it. Where, we obviously know that Tonga is not qualifying now, but let's say hypothetically he did. The only reason why I would think he would break up Carmelo's pinfalls is because he wants to be inserted into Money in the Bank himself. Because if you look at it like this, if he wins Money in the Bank, that gives them easy access to bring that championship that Cody has back into the bloodline, because that's their main mission. That's what they want to do. They want to take that title off of Cody. So at least if they have the Money in the Bank contract in their possession, that gives them easy access at any time. So hypothetically, Solo and the rest of them can just beat the shit out of Cody out there, and then Tonga can run out there, or even if Tonga just willingly gives it to Solo, because that's something I can realistically see, then they could easily give them the title that way. So it's just basically like a golden ticket for them to have that title in their possession at any time. That's how I personally see it.
Which is funny when like you think about too, like, you know, like before Solo's match with Cody, there was a segment right in gorilla position where we kind of got a little bit of a, not, I guess, an exposition dump a little bit about I guess some of the code of conducts for the bloodline. And Paul had mentioned to Solo, hey, look, you're supposed to just like make sure you're controlling Cody. Like, you're not supposed to be going after him, just like keeping an eye on him, keeping him in check kind of thing. Not like a checkmate kind of thing, like getting the title from him or anything. Just, you know, keep him in check and all that. And like we're seeing like Solo and this new bloodline basically go into business for themselves, and how apparently Roman's not even coming back. But this kind of also ties in and kind of like helps with your theory about them costing Jay, because we see with this new bloodline, they're very sporadic with everything. They're very like wild and crazy with their actions and what their plans are. And yeah, they could be having a match at Money in the Bank, you know, with Cody and KO and Randy Orton. But because of their chaotic nature, it wouldn't surprise me if they still just go into that match and destroy Jey Uso and make sure he doesn't win that Money in the Bank. Like,
agreed.
It would not surprise me at all.
Now with Jacob Fatu as well, it kind of gives it a, not saying it gives it like a spontaneous, but it gives it the unpredictable. That with Roman, it was strategy, it was playing chess. Every move they made, it had a purpose. But with Solo Sikoa and the new bloodline, what's a good game? Damn, I don't have a.
Here, I have a great one for you. All right, you said, you know, Roman was playing chess. All right, that's great, that's cute. So now that Roman's gone, there needs to be a new chess player. So okay, Solo Sikoa arrives, but he arrives with a bazooka.
So he destroyed the chessboard.
He just destroys the chessboard and everybody else in there.
He's just playing dodgeball. He's just throwing a whole bunch of balls at people.
Yeah.
He's playing archery right now. He's trying to get the target, but he keeps not shooting straight. He goes left, he goes right. You cannot go straight yet. So, all right, let's go with archery. Our man Solo Sikoa is archery, and Roman Reigns is playing chess. That's a whole different side of a.
Actually, sports, I guess the better way to put it really is Roman plays chess and he plays checkers.
I guess.
Because that's normally the term that
it is the term, use. But I was trying to find something different because, like, with Solo, it's hard to tell if he's playing checkers because he doesn't even go left or right. He just It's like it's so.
He doesn't.
He
really
just gets a
think smart
bazooka
like
and
like-
just shoots it.
Yeah.
Nah, but you're right. Drop.
You know?
With checkers and chess, 100%. Really curious to see what happens with Randy and Tonga down the line. But congrats to Carmelo Hayes. You deserve this W. You continue doing what you need to do.
Finally have him doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally backing up his words instead of saying he's cooking. He actually is kind of cooking. Oh, man. But hey, at least KO tried to help Randy, which, Randy paid him back for in his own triple threat match. That's right. Kevin Owens faced off against Grayson Waller and Andrade. And Drop, I'm glad you said the thing about like two people in this match already having storylines, because the winner for this match was also kind of given to. Almost in a way, like there was a part of me that thought, okay, maybe Grayson Waller could pull this off, but nah, he still has his story with like DIY and Austin Theory and all that. But this match was really good, like because Andrade needed to show out, and I'm so glad he was able to in this match. Like he was in control a lot.
Chad, congrats to him. I wasn't aware he became the WWE Speed Champion. Even Corey Graves said that he's one of the fastest rising star to have a fast match and beat his opponent. I think it's under 2 or 3 minutes. So just to know that he is the new Speed Champion, because he took down our boy Ricochet a couple weeks back. So that sucks and disappointing, because I thought Ricochet was going to be the champion for a while, but maybe it didn't work, because he quit the company supposedly. So congrats to Andre for that. I want to give a quick shout out to that. But I'm happy because Whawkins, you said on the money. He came and showed out. The way this man gets the crowd hype up by slapping his thighs, it just gets me hype up. He'd be like, da, da, da,
da,
da.
You want to talk about slaps? Dude, you want to talk about slaps? Those slaps he was given to Grayson Waller. That hurt me just watching through the TV. Like, God, he was hitting them hard, and good old Woo factor over there.
His wife,
good old dude. Have you seen her updates lately?
Yeah. Her knee's doing better. I saw the video a couple days ago. I believe it was a couple days ago.
Yeah, there was one yesterday. I think I saw. She was but I don't know if it was a posted a couple days ago or whatever.
Legs, right?
Yeah, the gym,
that was exactly the one.
Yeah, they should in gym or in therapy, like showing like therapeutic part, like showing to see how she can move her movement. So congrats to her. I can't wait to see the return. But I bet you she's proud of her hubby. She's like, yes, they're giving you the right push. They're putting you where you're supposed to be, man. I love that for her.
Yep. And yeah, like I said, I there was a part of me that thought that Grayson Waller was gonna pull this off.
Me too. I thought so too. But I felt like he doesn't need it right now. Like, I don't think he needs the briefcase. I love that he's still being part of these events, but I'm happy that he didn't win. Like, he doesn't need it. Andrade, who needs to push and everything, he deserves it. KO doesn't need to push. Like, again, what I was saying earlier, these superstars like Randy, KO, and everything, they don't need a champion or a briefcase or a title right now to feel like the main type of superstar, the megastar, the wrestler on screen, because they're pushing the company on their weekly story on what's supposed to be the conversation or the story segments, backstage and everything. Like, KO has been literally the one pushing the bloodline week to week, week, and having brawls with them. But it's because he doesn't need to be a title champion or anything. Like, Royal Rumble times or SummerSlam times, he's still on the POEs. He's still being a main eventer. He doesn't need a title, so I'm happy that he's not winning. He's still being involving. And this man is selling the shit out of that knee pain.
Oh, yeah. No, like, the whole story of this match is, like, Kevin Owens getting jumped even before the bell rings.
Yeah.
So his knee is all bummed out, so he's already like at half power, and it's really just a match between Andrade and Grayson Waller with Kevin Owens kind of popping in here and there, which again, fine. That's the story of the match. But like Andrade was just in control a lot of this. Like so like before we even went to the commercial break, like I kind of mentioned it in our notes here about like him being between a rock and a hard place because like they were all three like on the apron, and Andrade was just kind of going back and forth. Like he was hitting Grayson, and then Grayson would hit him back, and then he would stumble into KO, and he would hit him back. Like, it led to some good spots too. Like before the commercial, but we got back, and like Andrade's just fully in control. And like at first, I thought he was just gonna end this easy, like it was gonna be an easy night for him. But now, like he had to work for it, and just. Ooh, that ending was just chef's kiss. Like, just the way he was able to counter Grayson Waller's move into his finisher. It was just so good. I popped hard for it.
Yeah, finally showcasing what Andrade is capable of. And this is like the thing I'm starting to like, because if you compare this like 2 to 3 years ago, or if you just look how he was originally treated when he was first in the company, he didn't really have like the best main roster run, because as soon as he headed up into the main roster, because what helped him was he had Zelina Vega as his valet, and when he went up to the main roster, they took her away, so he was kind of just floating all over the place, and he didn't really like how he was being booked. That's why he went over to AEW, and obviously you know how things turned out over there, and that's why he came back. Yeah. But I like how things are being structured now, because at least people can see like what Andrade is capable of, because he's a very great wrestler. Like, you could put him in the ring with like the best you got in the company. Like, you can put him in the ring with Chad Gable, you could put him in the ring against Gunther, you could put him in the ring against Cody or Seth Rollins or whoever. He's a great wrestler. He could keep his pace with people like that. So I'm glad that he's actually being showcased in this Money in the Bank match. That's what really made me happy, because I liked how KO did hold his own in this match. I will give him credit for that. Like, even though he got beat up, he was still able to hold his own. He was still able to do some good spots. Like, you saw that double suplex that he did. He was still able to do a lot of these moves that KO normally does, like a lot of these like big spots throughout each of his matches that you normally see. He was still able to pull them off. So it's not like he was like hurt and he was just doing a whole bunch of punches and kicks and maybe one suplex there and maybe one stunner. Like, no, he was actually still competing like he was a part of the match. He wasn't really left out just having Grayson and Andrade fighting the entire time. So I like how each person within this match was able to showcase what they're capable of. But yeah, you know, jumping into this, I had a feeling Andrade was going to win, because same thing like we addressed earlier. There's already ongoing storylines of KO with the Bloodline, and then you also have what's currently going on of DIY and Austin Theory, which Austin Theory wasn't here tonight. And I actually did
apparently
see
he was injured or something.
Yeah, like I saw his face all puffy. And my only assumption with his whole face was puffy, because he like posted a video saying not at SmackDown tonight, and his whole face was puffy. The only thing I can think of when I see that is it's either an allergic reaction, or I'm thinking more that it could have been maybe he went to the dentist, got wisdom teeth pulled, something like that. Maybe that's why he's not there. Who knows? Because he's still young.
I'm trying to look up.
I wasn't aware of that, but hey, hope he's well. Hope he's healthy.
He looked like the Crimson. He looked like the Crimson Chin from Fairly Odd Parents. If you ever saw the Crimson Chin, that's what his face looks like.
Oh, sure.
Was this on Instagram or Twitter or?
It was on Twitter. Like, I have the video. I'll post it in the chat because I sent it to my friend too.
Yeah, I need to see this, because again, he has a very punchable face, and if it's all puffy already, I need to see that punchable puffy face.
But they are losing those titles, Grayson. So hold on to them as
tight as you can.
Hold on tight to those.
Yeah.
I do like the build. Like, I know we haven't had the match yet, but I do like the slow build we've been getting with them and DIY, because like
me too.
It's just adding more for like Austin Theory's eventual face turn against Grayson Waller. I've liked the build that we've had with all this.
actually feels like a storyline instead of just a one-off.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you won this #1 contenders match. Let's just talk shit to each other for like 2 weeks, and then after that have a match.
Look
and
at
then it's
his
over and done
puffy
with.
face.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It might have been wisdom teeth. It looks like a wisdom teeth.
Oh shit! I shouldn't laugh because I mean it's a human
Oh
being,
shit!
but
I
at the
see
same
it.
time,
I see it.
at the same time, hold on. I'm gonna try not to. Okay. Oh.
No, but like you said, Andrade won. KO did a nice sell for his injury. What Grayson Waller did what he did. He had to keep up appearance with the tag team champions, and then him having his person DIY involving themselves, telling him that, hey, you're a selfish human being. You only look out for yourself. So I love how they keep up with the story with DIY. Still important, even though they're not wrestling, they're still being involved with the story overall. So I'm very happy for that.
Yeah. And hey, at least the Tonga's mission was complete. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are not going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So hey, kudos to them. There's only one thing left to do tonight, and that is to destroy Cody Rhodes. Because we finally get Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa as our main event. But really not much of a match. It's all about the stuff that surrounds it. And we had mentioned, Solo talking to Paul Heyman, like just treating him more like crap and saying how, oh, after all this, you and I need to have talk, blah, blah, blah. And, we talked about some of the things that they said in gorilla position, but one thing that was very interesting before this match that Solo said, and Heyman kind of like stuck with this as well, he said that Roman isn't coming back.
Let's talk about
How
it.
do we? Let's talk about this because like this kind of ties in, I think, to a theory that we've been having on this show about how Roman's no longer in charge. It is now fully The Rock in charge, and also naming Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief and all that. So I'm assuming that's where this is all going. But yeah, let's have a chat about this. Let's have a little talk about this. Like, why do we think Solo is saying this, that Roman just isn't coming back? Because it's one thing to say, oh, he's not the tribal chief anymore, but he's not coming back?
I think Solo's probably saying that because he likes how he has the power now, and he just wants Roman to not be involved at all. Because the way you look at it, Roman, well, in his eyes, looked like a loser coming out of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So from his perspective, it's like, do you really want somebody like that running the bloodline? No title anymore. Had a long run, lost it to Cody. Now we have to work together to get that title back, to bring it back to the bloodline. So he probably looks at Roman as a joke, which I guess probably has to do with like The Rock as well, because you know how The Rock is. He's very professional about a lot of things. He likes things being displayed properly. I mean, you had like him pull out that whole entire diagram showing off like the bloodline family heritage. So it's like Rock's very professional about a lot of things, and he probably has a lot of trust in Solo. He probably believes in Solo that he'll be able to lead the bloodline down a right path. He would actually be able to represent the family properly instead of, losing a whole bunch of matches and having the whole bloodline look like a joke. Because if you actually do look at it the way that the bloodline was before, they didn't really win as much matches besides Roman. Roman was like the main one, always winning his matches. But if you look at Solo, ever since he set up this new bloodline, they look very dominant. They're on a hot winning streak. They haven't They haven't lost one match at all, which is why I personally believe they're probably going to end up going over it again at Money in the Bank on their match. I don't think Cody or Randy's getting pinned. I think KO's probably going to eat the pin again, unless they want to do Cody. But that'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
Drop. I love that you said it. Because I wrote it on the Discord, saying that my theory for Money in the Bank was going to be a 3 versus 3. Cody Rhodes with Randy and KO. It's going to be the RKO with Cody. Great. The baby faces, the 3 guys against the new Bloodline 2.0, the fake Tribal Chief cosplayer, and the 2 fake Usos. That was going to be it. I'm like, great. We got that. That's why I wrote like around 8:50 p.m., 9 o'clock. An hour later passes by. We have the match, the main event. Like Whawkins said in the chat on Discord, he said it's pretty interesting that the commentators, Corey Graves, said that we're not gonna end the show until somebody wins. I'm like, huh? I totally missed that, but it's weird that they said that. Like a whole minute later, Tama Tonga and Tonga Lola just literally jumps everyone.
Yeah, that statement did
just
not
went out
last,
the window. Like it just
last a
did
while.
not last
Yeah.
hour. It was just thrown in there as a curveball. It's like boom, thrown.
Yeah,
We gonna lie to everyone.
So as you were talking about all that drop about like Solo and like, you know, him being the tribal chief and like basically almost disowning Roman and all that, one vision kept coming into my mind that they could use as fuel on this fire. It's that vision we saw, that moment we saw after WrestleMania, after Roman dropped the title. Remember when he embraced Paul Heyman for like that split second on the stage?
Yeah.
That's the moment. That's the moment where like Solo, where Rock, they could use that moment to be like, you showed weakness there. Like, you showed a bit of humanity. You showed that you are not on that god level that you thought you were. You are mortal. You are just one of the random peons now. You're not world heavyweight champion. You're not undisputed WWE champion anymore. You're just Roman Reigns. You're not even the tribal chief anymore. Like, you showed that weakness right there in front of people, and it's recorded. Like, people saw that. Like, they could use that as fuel in this feud, which I kind of hope they do, because it is a really good moment. Like, even just like outside of the character of Roman Reigns, like, it's a good moment because it's just like, you know how much work he put in to have that kind of reign. Like, you know, say what you want about like the later part of it, but like, he did put in a lot of work. He was the face of the company for 4 years. Like, especially during a time where we kind of needed a distraction from the world. Like, Roman gave us that. He was the top guy throughout all of that. Like, he helped get us through all that. And so like, and he even had to deal with his own health issues too. Like, the first time he had the Universal title, he had to relinquish it because, you know, his cancer came back.
Yep.
And I'm sure he had a couple other scares throughout his run here too. It's just like, okay, I can't drop the title right now, which I think some of that did tie into some of those months that we didn't see him a lot, but that's just speculation on my end. Yeah, it's just really interesting. That's like, and I'm glad you were talking about it like that, Drop, about how like, it's just that it's all this respect thing. Like, there's a certain level of respect that Roman gave people, and now in a way he's lost that from his family, which, I mean, you kind of tie that in last week when Paul Heyman was just like, hey, Solo, if you lose this match, people are like, you're basically going to lose your title as tribal chief or like interim tribal chief or whatever. Like, there's a certain hierarchy, and like, I guess I need to like study a little bit to like put into words exactly, but it's like, there's this hierarchy of respect that goes around the bloodline. Like, okay, you are the dominant one. You are, in a way, you are the alpha male. Like, you need to prove that you're the alpha male, because one sign of weakness and the rest of the pack is going to not have you as the alpha male. They're going to find a new alpha. Somebody's going to dethrone you in that position. And yeah,
we have the perfect person to possibly dethrone him in the future, because we have, again, like the topic, Jacob Fatu appear, and Corey Graves called him the werewolf Samoa, or the wolf Samoa.
The Samoan werewolf.
The Samoan werewolf. I appreciate that, John, for the correction. So just to have that type of commentary, that added information that even fans don't know, at least he's now known by the commentator, to the audience, to the community world of WWE that he is the Samoan werewolf. That's why he has a beautiful T-shirt. Like the shirt that dropped already on the shop looks freaking beautiful. By the way, big shout out to Jacob Fatu. He looks great in his debut. He lost weight from his last time we saw him appearance, was 5 months ago or 4 months ago, I believe it wasn't by now, since he got signed by April or March it was. So just to know that big type of speculation happening, he been training, he been looking good. He's like, yo, if I'm gonna appear on live TV, I'm gonna look my best, or just get him prep at the performance center. Anything that could be going, he looks great. So congrats on his debut. And who do you guys think now that he appear? Money in the Bank now is only 2 weekends away, or 2 weekends away. Who do you guys think will be the fourth member if instead of giving it 3 versus 3, who would be the 4 versus 4?
One thing I do want to say before I give my thoughts on this, and this is just a quick thing to add on to your Corey Graves comment, I do want to acknowledge what Corey Graves said on Twitter, where he gave more insight on Jacob Fatu, where he's like, in a nutshell, Jacob Fatu has all of the bloodlines, best athletic genetics, and the only worst personality traits. This dude is going to be a problem. So him even putting that out there goes to show that Jacob Fatu is going to be a big thing in this company. It's not just, he's just a part of the bloodline. Like, just moving forward, he's going to be a big factor into the future of the brand, which is really nice.
Did you see what Karrion Kross tweeted?
No, I didn't.
I did see that.
It was something similar. It was something along the lines of, I've faced Jacob Fatu for 10 years. Basically, SmackDown's fucked. The character of Karrion Kross is saying, yeah, you guys are fucked. That should say something. Say what you want about Karrion Kross's character, but at least he's the type of character that's that is going to make your life an issue. And if somebody like that is saying, hey, you guys are, again, with lack of a better term, you guys are fucked. You guys are fucked. I don't like any of y'all's chances, but man, Jacob looked amazing tonight. Not just in his silly little goofy expressions, because I loved it. It made him seem like this unhinged beast. And not in the beast sense of I'm a strong, he is a strong beast, obviously, but more of just a controlled beast, I guess. He's still gonna go a little out of control, but it's he's okay, here we go. He is Super Broly. Not Dragon Ball Z Broly, he's all Kakarot. No, he is Super Broly. He's just you killed my dad. He's a little bit more controlled.
So, if people heard my intro in the beginning, I was telling the team behind the scenes before we went live, I literally said that the bloodline, the version 2.0 of the bloodline, reminds me of a Lazarus Pit. The reason I say that is because if anybody, quick synopsis, if you have not heard of the Lazarus Pit or know what I'm talking about, in the DC Comics or in the show, live action show of Arrow that was going on for almost 8-10 years, the Lazarus Pit is that if you throw somebody in it, their personality gets twisted into what they were never once before. So characters like Sarah, Robin, Raja Ghul, they're people, and you have to have a strong will to stay to who you were. A lot of characters don't have a strong will. The Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga Loa, all these characters remind me of seeing them in the indies, their promo work, see how they have done, to how they are on the main roster in the company of SmackDown on WWE. They barely have done any promo work, but what we have heard is their facial and their sound and moaning and their savagery actions and moans. Because this reminds me of another reference in the comics world. I believe this is also DC, about Savage Land.
Okay.
Because this is literally Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu. If you throw them into the world or land of Savage Land, you could literally put them, invert them off their clothes, and just have them as cavemen. they literally are cavemen that can literally survive in Savage Land. Like, they can literally survive with Tarzan. That's how I feel like these characters just hold twist of 180, but not in a negative way. I want to tell the audience in the best way possible, because they could have the new groundwork where they already have the mic skills, but they don't have the presence yet in the pro wrestling world, in the live TV aspect of the regular casual wrestler audience wouldn't know. This is a great way to build them, and I love it. So my reference of Lazarus Pit and Savage Land is the most positive type of derail way to explain the bloodline.
Okay, I could see
Going
it.
back to what you
I
said
can see it.
earlier, Bash, about who the fourth member might be, the only
Yeah.
person I can realistically think of is Jimmy. I can't really think of anybody else at the moment that actually makes sense. But even that's kind of a little weird for them to like
Yeah,
really have in there. But at the same time, it's like it makes sense for Jimmy to be involved, because how you gonna fully start this whole civil war between Bloodline and Bloodline 2.0 without having Jimmy at least to catapult into that? Like, obviously, if you send Jimmy in there, then he's going to be the one to gather everybody else until Roman comes back, which probably would be around SummerSlam, I would assume.
yeah. Like, and that's the thing. Like, how would they like? Because that's the thing. They have 2 weeks now. They have 2 more SmackDowns to build up either this 6-man or this 8-man tag that we're about to get with these people. And it's like, okay, how do we use that time to properly build up and properly bring back Jimmy? Because like, they would have to bring him back next week at Madison Square Garden. They would have to, unless they just build it up to be like, oh, they're gonna have a surprise 4th person, and that person doesn't come out until the go home show. Which then you kind of start going into like the writing holes of this. Like, okay, why are they immediately trusting Jimmy?
Unless,
Like,
unless it's a Jay, but I don't know.
well, see, that's the other thing. Jay's already in the Money in the Bank ladder match,
Yeah.
so he wouldn't be able to be part
would
of
they
it.
have Jay do 2 matches in one night like they did with Roman?
Not
Probably
impossible,
not.
but
Probably
I
not
don't know.
like that. Yeah.
It's just hard to really. I mean, I honestly think we are getting an 8-man tag now, because I don't think they'll keep Jacob Fatu off the show now that they have him. But it's kind of really hard to tell who that 4th person is going to be. I'm only saying Jimmy just to play it safe, just because he's the one that makes the most sense. Because I'm not going to say somebody random like I don't know, whoever's on SmackDown.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna like randomly like pick some face on SmackDown to have him involved. Like, it needs to be somebody that actually makes sense.
Baron Corbin.
It's just really hard to figure out who that might be besides Jimmy.
Apollo Crews. I'm just naming random faces that I know on SmackDown.
I'm like,
but
I
yeah,
don't know
so
who could it be, but overall, Jacob Fatu, love his appearance. Like, just fucking amazing.
yeah, I am excited to see who he faces in the future, because this man is crazy. I've only seen clips of this guy on like going around through Twitter, so I haven't really like sat down and actually watched a match of his. Just those little fun clips that you get to see. So I'm excited to see who he gets to face, and just how their chemistry is in the ring, and just how he moves around in the ring, and especially like in the WWE style, because there is a difference between the way they construct matches in WWE compared to everywhere else. And yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait and see what he can do, because I know some of the reports that are coming out about Jacob Fatu, they were worried that he was gonna overshadow Solo.
Yeah.
And that could still happen, because, again, as the kids like to use this aura phrase, Solo doesn't really have much of it. And now, notice I said much of it. He showed a little bit of promise tonight after his little talk with Heyman and his walk out there. It's like, okay, I can see it. I can sense something in there, buddy. Let's harness what that is right now. Let's create something big.
He's growing. The
But
only
yeah,
thing that a lot of people
Yeah.
try to compare Roman and Solo right now is because that's the only tribal chief we have to compare it to, and people need to understand that Solo started out in NXT but moved to main roster. Now a lot of people watch NXT, so he has a new face with the main roster as Solo. Now he's jump rope to the fast lane of tribal chief. But before that, Roman, he had 10 before he became the tribal chief past 4 years, he was in the company for the past 6 to 8 years already, doing the Shield stuff, being his own person. So he already had the opportunity to have that prior fan experience and fan love, even though back in 2018, 2019, when he won the Royal Rumble, he got booed and everything. He got enough growth during that time and then back to becoming the tribal chief. So with Solo, I'm glad that they're not giving up on him or the character. They're still pushing. From seeing the blueprint that Roman did, they're seeing was working with Solo, with the blueprint that Roman did, but twisted for the style of Solo and his character. And I like that they're not giving up.
Another thing I wanted to throw in there as well is we never really found out what Cody's plan was too. Remember how he says?
Oh,
remember
yeah.
how Cody says he has a plan. What's his plan? Never really.
Yeah,
found
what was
that
his
out.
plan? Yeah, unless maybe, you know what? Maybe he has been talking to Jimmy on the side. Like,
Yeah.
maybe that is it. Like, and I mean, maybe Jimmy couldn't come out tonight for some reason or odd reason. I don't know. But I mean, that could be part of it too. And I mean, we've seen how like Cody has like gathered a team together, and some people are just like, wait, what are you doing with that guy? Like, we saw that with the whole War Game situation, which is like, okay, why are you going to have Jay on our side when Jay was part of the bloodline and made our lives hell and all that? So maybe it could be something like that. Because, like, we've seen that Cody, he is very trusting. I mean, that's why AJ, it was so easy for AJ to, like, betray him with that fake retirement speech and all that. Like, Cody's just a good boy, and he believes the best in people, and yeah, I'm expecting the best from Jacob Fatu, especially again from like the clips I've seen to just the hype surrounding him. I'm expecting big things, and from what it sounds like you guys are expecting some big things from him as well.
And Whawkins, quick thing before we transition to the big things of cashing the Money in the Bank on the woman's side, I wanted also to tell you that your expectation have been met. The fan of Vash has completed a certain fan art, so I want to let you know.
Oh, send it my way. Send it my way. I need to see this thing. I need to see this thing. All right.
But cashing in the Money in the Bank, we have a conversation not just about Money in the Bank, also about the woman division that was involved around this. So, what did it start with, Whawkins?
Yeah, so of course, obviously, you know, the main crux of all this was the women's qualifying match for the Money in the Bank ladder match. We only had one for the women's side tonight. Next week, I think we're getting the other two to kind of finish off at least the SmackDown side of things. But tonight, we had Bianca Belair versus Michin versus Chelsea Green. And man, I felt horrible for Chelsea Green here at the beginning because like Bianca and Michin were just going at Chelsea Green, like using her as a punching bag, and like her back and forth, and then just eventual fall down. It was just great. I have been becoming a big Chelsea Green fan in the past few weeks. Like, and like I already liked her character to begin with, but I don't know, something ever since like Piper was getting her push, I feel like Chelsea also kind of like upped her game a little bit too, to kind of be like, hey, don't forget, I'm here. I'm still a thing too. And I think that kind of also helped elevate Chelsea too, because like she has been firing on a lot of cylinders the past few weeks. But overall, like I think this match was pretty good. A couple of nitpicks here and there, but you know, again, nitpicks and all that. But I'm kind of glad Bianca didn't win this. Kind of the same deal with what we were talking about with the men's matches tonight. It's like, okay, Bianca somewhat has a story going on already with like maybe getting the tag titles back, and I only say maybe because like she didn't really seem too interested before the match.
Yeah, so I was gonna lead up to that with you guys before the match conversation. It was interesting with Bianca, still giving the flowers, like, to Jay, like saying, "All right, I'm gonna win this match." But I love how Jay was like still want to get her title back, and I love how this could lead up to something where Jade could start becoming obsessed to get her tag titles back. Like my precious, this is my baby. Like we won this with Mika. Like let's get back our title. And where Jade, it's not that saying that she's not interested. Like she's move on. Like she's moving to next thing. All right, cool. I got my next opportunity. Is Money in the Bank. I lost it. Now it's gonna be interesting to see what do we see there develop for next week. For next week Friday when it comes to Jade going for her qualifier. How would Bianca support her? Will she also still be interested for the tag titles championship now that she lost her opportunity for the Money in the Bank? So it's really curious to see what are the dynamic gonna move forward. Would Jade still be fucking with the titles? Like, yo, I still want it, even if she gets accepted for the qualifier. Because my guess is she will get accepted because Jade is going for Candice, and I forgot who the third person is.
It's Candice and Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, then it's gonna be Tiffany. Damn.
Yeah,
that was actually hard. Jade or Tiffany. Candice, I'm sorry, there's nothing against you, but right now you're not the one going to go. It could be Tiffany. No. I wanted to be Tiffany.
We know who Drop is pushing for in this match. Yeah. Let's be real.
Yes, correct. I'm saying
it's
could be
Tiffany time for him.
It could be Tiffany.
I get it.
But Jade is like to me, is right now like both of them have the high percentage of either or. Like it could be a toss up. But I hope
I could have said that. I could have said that tonight, but Chelsea took the win in this one. That actually caught me by surprise.
I was so happy.
I thought it was going to be. No, I was happy too because I thought it was going to be Bianca. Because nowadays, whenever I see Bianca in matches, I just automatically think she's going to win. So when I saw this match with her, Chelsea Green and Michin, I thought, oh, okay, Bianca's winning. Because realistically, if you look at the program, comparing Bianca to the both of them and knowing how they want to have some star power to that match, you would think logically they would probably want Bianca in that. But I know why they did Chelsea Green in this, and it's the same reason why we had people like Piper Niven and Isla Dawn and Alba Fire and Drew McIntyre obviously at Clash of the Castles because Chelsea's also from Canada.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to have her in a match like this so she's able to be in her hometown, be in her homeland, and she's able to be like a fan favorite out of this thing, which I honestly I honestly just like how they switched things up in this, because at first it was kind of predictable, but when they threw Chelsea Green in there, I was like, okay, this is actually really good because it's different and it's nice to have different things.
Yeah. Plus, like, that Chicago crowd was hot on Chelsea Green. Like, they were, the pop she was getting from her, well, we didn't get to see her entrance, sorry, she got a freaking jobber entrance, but she was at least able to win the match. Like, the pop when she pushed Bianca out of the way after putting her finisher on and covered Michin, I was just like, wait, no, we're actually doing this. Yes, I am all on board. If Tiffany Stratton doesn't win the Money in the Bank briefcase, give it to Chelsea Green, because I swear she will do magic with that thing. Like, magic even beyond what we probably have already seen with that briefcase, both on the men's and women's side. I will go on that hill and die on it.
Oh yeah.
I will bet right now, out of the two people that we have so far, options for next week with Tiffany and Chelsea Green so far, and if I got who entered from the roster side, I forgot who entered that one. Definitely would be Tiffany and Chelsea Green. When we find out who joins from Raw side, I can't remember who joined this past Monday and who comes up on this Monday. I will have a better idea in that decision. But overall, happy for Chelsea Green. It was a good match. It felt a bit type of choreograph with the spots, and it felt like a bit oversell from Bianca being thrown out of the ring, which she kind of got thrown off very lightly and but felt more exerted, like she just got thrown off or like being thrown more extra. But overall, I was still entertained by it.
And I thought that there was one point in the match too where like I questioned it because like Bianca starts apologizing to Michin, and I'm like, wait, why are you apologizing to her? You guys are in a match together.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be hitting each other and suplexing and trying to win. Why are you apologizing? All right,
No, that was a little random.
yeah. Oh man, but like we had some stuff around this match too. Like I wanted to point this out, and drop. You probably know this too. And yeah, I think I saw you saw the chat too, didn't you?
Yep, me
It's
too.
it's hard for me to focus.
Yep.
Oh man, chat. Thank
People
you
that are watching the VOD, go check out the live chat of why we're talking about it. So you see, we're gonna keep it PG, professional, so people that sponsor us the show and everything can understand that we are very serious critics and reviewers and fans. That just seeing Tiffany come on and see our girl Michin right after, I didn't expect for Michin to actually block the attack and literally slap her right after. That threw me off.
Oh,
Well, she can deal with Jada Parker now in NXT now. That's probably
True.
gonna be her main focus.
Which I'm
But,
okay with that. I will give props to
Yeah.
Michin. Like, it's weird to see her getting more shine at NXT than being on the main roster of SmackDown. That's a sad thing, but I'm glad overall.
yeah. Oh man, but like some of the stuff that was just like around this match, and I wanted to point this out in our notes here. And drop, you probably hopefully you understand what I mean by this. So Bayley was actually like she was watching the match, and she was actually watching it as a normal person would look at a TV screen. Now, if people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and ignorant children of the aisles out there, you may be asking yourself, what do you mean by that, Whawkins? Well, usually whenever they show like a wrestler backstage watching a match, they'll have like the TV screen right here, and they'd have them like blocked like this, like they're watching sideways, and like the camera, so like the camera's getting like the front view, but like they're watching the TV sideways, and it's like that doesn't look natural. Why are you watching the TV like that, bro? Like, why are you doing that? But like just seeing that Bayley was actually watching the TV normally, I don't know. I was just like, wow, this is definitely a new era, because we're actually being regular people. We're not being like, it's not like a forced blocking, being like, oh, gotta hold the title, gotta show everybody your good side while you're like focused on this match. It's like, nah, be a normal person. Be human. Like, it just adds a little bit of like that little bit of humanity in there.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah,
It just adds, it adds the extra value of the camera where like me, Whawkins, and Drop, and then other people on the Twitter timeline have been saying it, that the camera work of WWE, you know, people have been saying it, Whawkins been saying it, fuck Kevin Dunn for all the camera cuts of a 2-minute scene could have 137 cuts, for example, and that's just sad in the most disappointing way. So for them to actually do that, like, what the fuck y'all doing? So to see them actually succeed in the best way possible, it makes me happy to know that, hey, we're getting a camera shot from a person watching TV, but they're showing the back of the screen in 1/3 of the TV screen, and the other 2/3 showing Bayley reacting. And then who do we have pop in? Blair Davenport come in. She gives her segment. She said, hey, go tell your girl Naomi we got issues. I'm gonna be getting into my match next week and get my Money in the Bank briefcase and cash in on you. I love how she was talking, walking away, said her line, and then walk away off screen. Like, I love it. Like, it gave that moment and the importance of like, hey, I came here to talk my shit, I'm gonna walk out, not deuce. So it just gives that extra, like, yo, I just came here to do my job, I'm out.
And I
and like,
hope she wins too.
oh, Blair. Okay, yeah. So that actually, I'm glad you said that, Drop, because that leads me into like, asking you guys because like this match for the women's Money in the Bank qualifier, like the Blair Davenport versus Naomi versus Indy Hartwell. It's
Indiana
like
Jones.
I can honestly see like I could see either of them winning, like because again like you do have that story with Blair and Naomi, so if they don't win this match they could still be doing something on their own, against each other. But like you would want somebody like Naomi in this match, like kind of the veteran type, but also like the one that will do a bunch of crazy shit. Blair Davenport, I think, would do well in a ladder match as well. And then, I mean, just giving Indy something to do would be nice, because like she's good, she's won a ladder match before. She won a ladder match for the NXT Women's title.
Yes.
So it's not like she doesn't know how to do a ladder match. But yeah, I think that one's the one like I'm kind of more up in the air with. I'm like, okay, I could see them going in many different avenues with this, but yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But like that is a good shout having Blair go over though. I'm not mad at that.
So for SmackDown set we have Chelsea Green. This is right now my theory. Chelsea Green, Blair Davenport, and then Tiffany from the SmackDown side.
Okay.
My black horse, or what are the phrases? Dark horse.
Okay.
Is for the match of Tiffany, Jade, and Candice is Jade, and for the match of Blair versus Naomi and Indy would be Indy instead of Blair. Those are my runner-ups. Those are my other choices if my first choice don't happen. How about you guys? Your quick shots.
Blair and Tiffany.
You know what? I'm gonna stick with Blair, but I'm not gonna lie. It would be kind of funny if Candice won. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be kind of funny if she did. I would rather Tiffany win, but it would be funny if Candice won.
It's just so hard to see her not in it, considering like she's the fan favorite this year. Because every single year, there's always like a fan favorite of like, oh, okay, who's gonna win Money in the Bank? Last year it was Io. Yeah, last year it was Io Sky and LA Knight that a lot of people were pushing for, and they were in the match.
Yeah.
And for the most part, even if they didn't win, the fan favorites that people wanted to be in the match, they were still in the match. And a lot of people are pushing for Tiffany this year to win the women's Money in the Bank, which makes perfect sense to me. And it actually writes a perfect story if you look at it like this. Because let's say, for example, at like SummerSlam, we have that match between Bayley and Nia Jax. There's a good chance Nia Jax could win that match, but I'm still pushing for Bayley.
Same.
But I feel like what Tiffany is currently doing right now with Nia, she's just using Nia for leverage. So when it comes to the point where Tiffany doesn't need her anymore, Tiffany's just gonna push her to the side, and if she has that Money in the Bank contract in her possession, and let's say, for example, she wants to cash in after that match that Nia has with Bayley, like if Bayley wins or if Nia wins and then she cashes it in on Nia, I could easily see that being a story that they're writing right now in front of us, because we currently have Nia being Tiffany's little bodyguard right now. But let's say, for example, Nia finally gets her moment and she beats Bayley and she becomes a women's champion again. Here comes Tiffany, hits her with the contract, does the prettiest moonsault, and then she wins the title right there. I can easily see it being one of those things, because you see it play out like that all the time in WWE. We have this heel working with another one, then they end up backstabbing each other, and then the other person ends up getting what goal they set for themselves to begin with. So I can easily see that being a factor in here. And also, just part of me just honestly thinks Tiffany's probably going to become women's champion this year. It's just a gut feeling I've had.
Yeah. No, I can feel that, because like you could build that up too with her and her character being like, okay, this is like her quote unquote rookie year, on the main roster, and like for her to win a title within that rookie year, that's something big. Like, I mean, the person that immediately comes into my mind with all that is Kurt Angle, with his first year in the company. You know, like you could always run that story, and that is a good story to tell. You know, because it builds up the talent very well in that respect. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see with all this. But, like, overall, like, this match was fun. You know, I mean, we had some good spots. We had a style clash and all that. We had KOD and,
oh my god,
of
the
course,
Star Clash
Chelsea
was
Green.
amazing to look at. I was happy for Michin to get the, like, Star Clash was amazing to get that homage of and everything. And also, it was weird to not see AJ Styles tonight because it was, like, me and you, Whawkins, did predict that might be the case this past Saturday when we spoke about on the review portion about AJ Styles saying he quits. So I love the video package of him still screaming. Like, he has a running steel steps literally being thrown at him. He literally screams, I quit, I'm done. I'm not going to be thrown with steps.
And then he still gets hit with them. Like, that's the kicker. But look, he has to prepare for Japan. He's got a match going on in Japan that is going to hit. Oh yeah, that's right. Io has hers too.
Weekend. I know, it's actually the same day.
Same day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh my gosh, those are both gonna hit so hard. Oh, give it to me, injected. But yeah, so we're gonna have a few more women's qualifiers next week, both on Raw and SmackDown. But our last little segment of the night involves a different title, different from all of those. In fact, you know, it's even different than the mid-card if you're talking to the champion about it. That's right. LA Knight wanted to call out Logan Paul. Finally, Logan Paul is going to show up to work. He's going to give LA Knight exactly what he wants, but not really. LA Knight, you know, he goes to the ring, he tries to call out Logan Paul, but nope. No Logan Paul at all. And we find out that they're going to be in a match, a triple threat match next week, to also qualify for the Money in the Bank match. It's going to be Logan Paul versus LA Knight versus Santos Escobar. And like what we saw with the other men's triple threat matches, there might be an obvious winner for next week.
It's Santos Escobar.
Don't you mean Santos Escobar?
Yes, he did give the extra emphasis. Extra bar. He did.
Santos Escobar.
I appreciate you saying that one because I was cracking up when Herm said, like, you talk to me, Santos Escobar. I'm like, okay, he's giving that type of he's giving that type of the type of telenovela vibe, like the emphasis on the R.
Oh man.
Like, it was good.
There's also part of me where I could see it playing out a little bit differently. Like, does next week's match like give us like a predictable outcome? Yes, because I personally see Santos Escobar. But let's throw a little wrench in here and like get a little interesting. We could possibly see either Logan or LA Knight win this match, only for them to be in the match and have the other person cost that person their opportunity to win.
You need to get out of my head, because like I was literally just sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, what if? Because like, so I'm piggybacking off of your idea. I'm like, okay, what if LA Knight pins Logan Paul in the triple threat, and that gets him into Money in the Bank, and then because Logan Paul is the type of guy to screw somebody over in a match like that, you know, so he could go out there to Money in the Bank, give him the old brass knuckle shuffle, and bada bing, bada boom, LA Knight's out of there and setting up for SummerSlam. I don't know if that was the route you were going to go with it, but I mean that is a route.
Either way, really, it's like either Logan wins or LA Knight wins. I could see either one of them screwing each other over in that match to build to their match at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. And even if so let's say Logan goes over in the triple threat, like he could do it in a devious way that, you know, cost LA Knight the match or something, or pulled what Chelsea Green did tonight with Bianca Belair. Like he could pull that with LA Knight too. Like there's many different avenues with this, and I mean, hopefully it's not the obvious one with Santos going over, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But this segment also made me realize, wait, they're doing a show in Madison Square Garden
next Friday,
and I don't remember the last time we had a Raw or SmackDown in the Garden, unless I'm
I do
just
remember,
crazy
actually.
right now.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, you do? Okay.
was there.
When was the last one?
I was there on
It
the
was-
SmackDown
Wait.
one. Last
SmackDown.
year.
When was it?
Last
It was
year
when
with
Edge.
yeah.
It was Edge and Grayson
Oh.
Waller.
Oh, that's right. Okay. That's right. And he was like, oh, yeah, you swam. And then Grayson Waller did nothing after that.
Yeah, I was there. I remember a SmackDown one. Raw one was here a couple of months ago. I just was not there in that one.
Yeah. But yeah, so LA Knight's just kind of running down Logan Paul a little bit, runs down Santos a little bit, and Santos comes out, and I kind of feel bad because, like, in Chicago, which is, you know, a big wrestling town, you know, it's got some good pops and all that, you know, people like the craps up there. Santos got like no pop when he came out. I mean, I don't know if it was my TV or what, but like
it wasn't
I
your
heard
TV,
like no reaction.
but as he should be. Not saying that he deserve it, more in the sense that he should not getting a pop yet. Because right now, I feel like without the LWO being there, Legado de Fantasma slowly growing with Andrade stuff, with stuff on his own. So he's being important to the character that is being portrayed. So I love that very much. Where him not getting a pop is a good thing. The same thing on Solo, because these characters are not being forced to us, but they're being well written in a book where he is working with LA Knight. And if Santos performs well next week, that is going to show the elevation that he's the wrestler and could walk to talk with LA Knight. Because even when he came out, LA Knight put him down so good. He said, I didn't call for you. Why is your ass on my ring? I didn't even call for you. Why are you here? And I love, again, LA Knight promo was very well done, very well executed, because he even said that, nah, you're going to come here to the ring, do a no-call, no-show. You know what? Next week is my match. I'm going to win that match. You know what? I could use that briefcase. I wish he added, I could use that briefcase to go for Cody. But instead, I'm going to go for Logan Paul. I wish he said between the lines of saying that if he got the title, if he got the briefcase, he will fight him in a supermarket to bring back towards the thing that happened with Booker T and I believe it was Stone Cold back then.
The milk.
Yeah. So I wish that was the case with LA Knight. I wish he brought up that reference saying that if he won the briefcase, since it's anytime, anywhere, I wish he would have said something that he could have found him in the supermarket, or to that extent. It would have added more layers to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Man, I mean, we're getting a build within a build, kind of. So like we're building for next week's triple threat, which is also kind of building towards whenever they're going to be having this United States title match. But yeah, Logan does end up coming out. He sucker punches LA Knight
from the
and
back
beats
of
him
the
up and
head.
all that. Yeah, and I mean, oh man, I don't have many thoughts about it because, like, again, we're setting up for the title match, and it's been a good setup. It's just there wasn't much to really grasp onto this week, other than hey, they're going to be in a triple threat. Winner goes into the Money in the Bank next week. So I think once we get past this little stopgap, we'll move on towards the U.S. title. Now JJ in the chat though is asking if we believe, and I'm wondering,
Believe in
what do you mean by believe? What do you mean by believe? Are you talking about wait, do I need to say a certain name?
I know what he's referring to.
Will he appear?
Joe Hendry?
Maybe. He's definitely
Unless
appearing in our description. Because it says
unless
right here,
you're saying
Whawkins, Legend D Vash, Joe Hendry, and DropThisBox. He appeared somewhere.
Unless JJ, you mean if we believe, which I mean I value my own life, so yeah, I do believe.
Imagine Uncle Holly saying that.
Do you believe? well, you better believe I thought we were gonna get something tonight. I thought we were gonna get something again tonight. I'm not gonna lie. They were kind of hyping something up with like the extra security, and they had mentioned the
All right,
Wyatts.
hold up. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Like, all right, SmackDown Overall, because I love. I said in the group chat, I bet you one of these security guards are gonna come out, become a wrestler, and we're gonna get like a video package that we saw them on this night as a security guard. Because there's way more, like, I counted like a good at least 10 to 20 at least of security guards, because it was 100% that, like, I felt like one of them. There was one of them that was next to Wade Barrett. He looked like a total wrestler, like the way he's built, his beard, and like his posture looked like a total wrestler. I'm like, you either go to the gym and work out very well, or you have the body built of a wrestler.
What's the thing? Like, they usually like use some of the local talent in the city. So like, I'm sure some of those guys are people that are training in the area and all that.
Plus,
so,
even
yeah,
Triple H, even Triple H said it last week in the press conference. He said it as a joke. He's like, man, security guards really does make the best wrestlers out there. We have Wade Barrett, we have these people and everything. I'm like, yeah, huh? Yeah, I guess they make the best wrestlers. Sure. LA Knight and everything. So,
hell, CM Punk was a gangster from the 20s.
Yep. I also remember.
Totally forgot about that one.
LA Knight was also one of Mercedes' bodyguards back then.
Yep.
Same with,
I remember that shit.
Baron Corbin too.
Yep. Well, at least none of them were rosebuds. Like Braun Strowman, Becky Lynch, all that stuff. But
how about you?
I mean,
guys?
overall, like I thought SmackDown was really good this week. Like, I think I had mentioned this like maybe like a couple weeks ago or something. But like, I kind of figured that after we got through Clash and we're gonna make our way towards Money in the Bank, that things were gonna start picking up a lot, because not only are we going towards Money in the Bank, but we're also kind of setting stuff up for SummerSlam coming up. And so it's like, okay, we're going to have to start picking up a lot of these stories now. We're going to have to start like moving forward with some of these things. And like, you know, with Raw, we had Seth Rollins coming back. I think that's like the biggest catalyst, like for our moving forward past Clash and into the summer months, to be red hot instead of like this lukewarmness that I kind of been feeling throughout, like after Mania season and all that. Starting off with Seth Rollins was brilliant. Yeah, because that set the tone.
It did
for the summertime.
It did.
So it's just like, you know, now we can again move forward. We can start doing like not only excellent stories, but like we can have some awesome matches. We still have more debuts and like new people coming in, and like everything just feels so fresh. And like this is that mid-year freshness, like that mid-year restart that we normally get around like this summertime here. And this was probably the best week we've had from WWE. Again, like we had everything from Raw, from like, I mean, the main standout from Raw this past Monday obviously was the Wyatt 6. Like, that was the big standout. You had the Joe Hendry stuff on NXT. You know, we're coming off of Clash of the Castle, which was a phenomenal show. You know, and then like now we had SmackDown, which was not only a really great paced show, and we had a debut. And like the storyline stuff, like pushing forward, like it was so good. Like I didn't get a chance much to talk about the blood stuff and all that earlier, but it's like, you know, you add that, like, it's a great addition that WWE uses, because like when they do add it, it is like, it's almost horrific in a way, because like Cody had his almost crimson mask the other night, and then like we had Chad Gable getting shot in the head the other night. And like CM Punk, like he was like bleeding from his mouth. Like it was like almost like he had a crown of thorns on his head that were just like digging. And then like, yeah, it was like he was wearing the proverbial crimson mask. But yeah, again, just everything was just so good tonight. Like It was really good. Drop. How did you think of SmackDown overall?
Like you said, I honestly think this was probably the best week of wrestling for WWE. Monday was a great show. Friday was a great show. I would love for them to keep the momentum going for the next Monday and next Friday and throughout the entire summer. I would absolutely love that. Just a lot of stuff thrown at us at once, and it's a lot of stuff to digest, but I love it. We got
I agree in that aspect. For me, Raw and SmackDown has been hitting not just this week alone. It's been hitting since 2 weeks ago. I think after not Backlash, after France. I think it was the other pay-per-view after that. Because we have had
King of the Ring.
Yeah, King of the Ring. So I feel like after King of the Ring, that's when they've been getting better with their pacing. But with this week alone, just all 3 shows of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown just hitting with their style of storylines and their pacing with TNA and with SmackDown with Bloodline, CM Punk, Drew, Jacob Fatu debuting. We having the men's and women's qualifying match and everyone having their own TV time. Blair Davenport showing up more and just coming from the main roster. So I love that. The only thing I'm curious about for Raw, I'll save my conversation when I come back in 2 weeks for Raw. But I want to at least say now, when the fuck is Dijak going to appear? My G, we haven't seen Dijak, man. I'm just waiting for him.
He's on Speed.
Oh, he's on speed? Oh, I missed that. My apologies.
Well, apparently, yeah.
No, he's also on main event.
He was
also a main event, I heard.
He's
a
done
main
a
event.
few things there.
But I'm just waiting for the main roster. Like, my guy, come on, you're on the main roster.
Yeah.
Come on, jump on.
He could do a lot of things though. That's what I'm hoping he gets on the. He's actually on Raw, because that he could do a lot for that for the company, and I don't know why he's not on air yet. Actual live TV.
Yeah, it's weird that he's not on it for whatever reason that could be.
Because, well, hold on. Is he still working out his new contract right now?
Oh, that could be it too.
That could be part of it, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see and all that. But before we get into our closing statements, our closing arguments, if you will, or whatever, I do want to shout a few things out here in the chat. I want to start with you, Dro. What is that? Sorry, I can't. Dro Davidian. You had asked us about our thoughts on Drew's attack on CM Punk. Don't really want to elaborate too much. I think we're all in agreement. We loved it. It was excellent work from all ends. If you want more of a breakdown, we do have time codes in our description. They will be up probably in the morning or afternoon at some point. Oh, they're there already. Even better. So, hey, when we get off of here, go check out the time code, see what we had to say and all that. So. Yeah.
Like Whawkins said, we spoke a good 30 minutes of that conversation, chat. I'm looking at it. We spoke a good 30 minutes of that conversation. It was well executed. We literally spoke about the return of CM Punk, his context of what his speech was, and him getting jumped by Drew, how important it was, how impactful, and the body language and acting it was. So I highly suggest if you want to hear the full breakdown. But like I said, the beautiful acting of Drew McIntyre. This man was telling us month after month of how he will give this promo work and how he's a good guy. Now this man didn't speak a word. He pushed the general manager. Again, I emphasize that we have not seen that in a while. I do want to acknowledge, we know what Drop said earlier. Our boy Nick Aldis is a wrestler. He's been in the indies before, but currently we haven't seen him or Adam Pearce do any type of wrestling stuff yet, other than Adam Pearce doing something back in the pandemic time. But with the current general managers, they haven't done any wrestling. They've been doing their due diligence of their work and their job and being the manager, being the boss. But Nick Aldis, I'm curious to see if he's gonna snap, because he already got one RKO by Randy.
Knowing him,
he also got paid already for the next RKO in the future. So we already got one coming up down the line. We cannot forget that he paid for 2 RKOs. So we have one in the future coming up. And we already got pushed by Drew, where he's technically a free agent actor right now. So I'm really curious to see when is Nick Aldis going to be like, enough is enough. Because he already been dealing with the bullshit from the bloodline, getting pushed by Drew, and getting RKO 1 by Randy. So Really curious to know when is Nick out is gonna break.
Hopefully eventually. So yeah, just a couple other things I want to shout out real quick from our lovely chat.
Yes.
Oblivion. Hopefully everything's all right with you and the pizza guy that got jumped outside your house. And I'm glad you found the chat again. So I'm glad for that. And the other thing too, Vash's fan, that fan art, send it to me on Twitter or on our Discord. Send it to me. But if you don't know where to send that to me, Vash, where can these people not only send whatever they have for me, but if they have anything else for us as well? Where could they do? How can they do all that stuff? What can they do to give us exactly what we need?
Oh, so you know what exactly what we need? Like Vash has been doing, like, during the show, putting the time code, getting description to look very beautiful. You know why? For fans like you, the chat could find us, our social media, our Discord server, our future website that's gonna be out and active by the end of next month. So by beginning of August, we're about to have a lot of professional things coming up down the pipeline. So just keep on the lookout on the description, because there's gonna be changing and new links will be updating. So stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you like what we're doing, if you're entertained by us, without further ado, comment, give us your feedback to know what you like. You guys said that you would like to see some NXT coverage. Maybe we will speak behind the scenes, see if all three of us could do it, one of us could do it, or two of us could do it on a Tuesday nights, because everyone's schedule is always different. So we gotta see how that goes. So we appreciate you guys that you want some NXT coverage. If you guys want some AEW, that's more for myself and Whawkins. That's a different conversation that we gotta see. Oh, we have Dexter Loomis right there in the chat.
Don't acknowledge it. Don't acknowledge it before it could.
Hey,
it could be a trap, Vash. Don't.
That is true, because if people have not seen the Pat McAfee show, it got cut off. So before we get cut off, I'm gonna pass it back to you, Whawkins.
Yeah. Well, Drop. Do you have any do you have any final words for the chat, for our lovely audience?
I do not have a QR code queuing up. Definitely not. No.
Oh man.
Say that again.
Do you have any final words for our lovely audience before we sign out?
Honestly, stay safe, because you don't really know where the Wyatt Six gonna strike next.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Stay true to yourself. Don't be mean at people, because we saw what happened to Chad Gable. Which, one of the things I also wanted to mention on the show, I like the whole imagery with that whole video package that we had with the Wyatt Six.
Great. It was good.
And I actually like how they showed that image with Gable and Otis, so it makes sense why they targeted certain people. Because the way you look at the Wyatt family, they're a family. They all love and respect one another. So looking at Gable's situation, it makes sense why they headed down that direction with him. But be sure to, be just like them and respect one another. Love your family. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a Gable position and then resurrecting like Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Oh, quick thing. About the Wyatt Six, you give a great comment about that. Quick thing for the timeline. Respectfully said, go fuck yourself if you think the Wyatt Six is gonna fail just because all the characters on screen are mid-carders. How about you guys, the people in the timeline, have patience, maybe to see if the Wyatt Six can actually succeed without Bray Wyatt himself, and we actually could let the people that tell us a story. Maybe that's why they've been improving on the ring, training. We haven't seen them. It's been brewing for the past 2 months in these QR codes, little segments. They've been training. This is what they're going for. And also, they have a new regime. So, it's just like the people, y'all gotta F that up and have patience. Let it get cooking. If you loving what Triple H and Shawn Michaels are cooking, raise your hand. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, you know what? I think that's about it. And before Mercy the Buzzard decides to not have mercy on us anymore, I'm just gonna thank you guys. Thank you guys out there in the chat, or in the comment section if you're watching the VOD of this. Just Gonna thank you guys for taking time out of your day, or night, or evening, or morning, whenever you listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. So we thank you for that. And if you enjoyed what we had to say, hey, do exactly what Vash just said. We're known as Animal We Studio on all social media platforms. Just remember, that's we with a 3. And also, use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us about anything regarding wrestling before, during, or after our shows. Feedback is always appreciated, as we're nothing without you tuning in. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Animal We Studio. Thanks to our production team of Vash, Whawkins, DropThisBox, Rome, and Jokester, as well as special thanks to JB and Abe. Thank you for joining us, and remember, no stunt. Who are you? What are you doing in my house? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Bye-bye, guys.